That's the wrong. Nope. You'll get there. There you go. Nope. Stop. Can you fix it, please? Thank you. I just kept worrying about the camera placement that whole time. We have to talk about this movie, James.
This is a TV show.
This TV show. We have to talk about this TV show.
I think we need to pivot.
You want to
do a run through?
Okay. Because we don't have enough to talk about.
There's not enough wrong with it.
Yeah.
A talkback is a lot easier when there's problems. Hooray.
Yeah. I don't know. We can do that. Hi. I know I have not answered your text message, and I'm sorry. It's been a weekend. But we're here. Well, I'm here. James is in his phone. Looking at guitars. This is my juice cleanse, guys. I started a juice cleanse.
I bought you that.
Shh. I'm being healthy. I'm being a healthfluencer.
There's only one juice in it.
Healthfluencer. I know. I'm sorry.
What are you looking at me for?
I don't know.
Okay.
It looked like you were going to say something.
She's not a juice cleanse person.
I am a juice cleanse person.
No, you're not.
Yes.
You don't cleanse anything but the house. The child.
That makes me sound like I don't cleanse myself.
I feel like that's sort of like a given.
We have to talk about the show, James. In 2 minutes.
2 minutes? No.
It was great. Vote the end. Really, we just gathered you all here to vote.
So good. Cut, print, check the date, moving on.
We're not actually recording an episode. We just needed to know what we were watching next. Oh, the Avs game already happened. It started at 2 p.m. So.
Oh yeah, that game ended.
We won.
That game. Spoilers.
Sorry, it happened.
They didn't know.
Like they were gonna watch it.
Hockey fans. They have hockey stuff up in their house. I've seen it with my eyes.
They're not Avs fans.
Yes, they are. I was gonna ask, are you high? But yes. They're Avs fans, except for the brief moments where they're St. Louis Blues fans.
Oh, see, that's what the team. I thought they were St. Louis Blues fans.
And in those moments where they're fans of the St. Louis Blues, they can go fuck themselves. But the Blues didn't make the playoffs.
I like the Kraken.
Did they? No, the Blues didn't make the playoffs. So they're Avalanche fans.
I'm a Seattle Kraken fan.
And you can fuck yourself too.
Are we in the playoffs? James?
The Kraken?
Yes.
No, they're so good at losing. They're so good at losing. They thought, you know what? Maybe we can make the playoffs. And so they sold picks at the deadline, the trade deadline. They gave draft picks to Toronto for a guy by the name of Bobby McMahon, one of the greatest hockey names ever. Bobby McMahon. That's incredible. He leaves the Maple Leafs to go to Seattle. He starts playing like a bat out of hell or a bat out of Austin. And he's scoring a goal per game, which is quite good. Quite good. And despite everything he's doing, multiple points in games, multiple goals, he cannot take the whole franchise upon his bottom six forward shoulders and drag them kicking and screaming out of mediocrity into a playoffs berth despite his exceptional performance. And there's no guarantee that they get to re-sign him when he becomes a free agent in a month and a half. So he may end up going right back to Toronto, and then the Seattle Kraken will lose those 2 draft picks for nothing. Their GM, I think, got fired this week because he was terrible. Their coach probably ought to get fired too for the skid that they went on. They should have been in the playoffs, and they fucking flubbed it all as hard as they possibly could.
I need you to bring all this energy to our podcast.
Oh, that's good.
All right, it's time. It's past time. 3, 2.
By Jove, she's done it again! A gap in the beginning! It's incredible! I'll leave it forever! I love it! We should start every show like this. I think this is fantastic. I really like what you're doing with it right now. Welcome to CityWavesCinema. That's America. This is James. We're talking about Fallout Season 2. I don't know if you were around for the first time. We talked about the first season. It was quite good. We liked it very much. It was a pretty faithful adaptation. Now, America hates the intro that we just did with every fiber of her mildly intoxicated being. I may have accidentally got her drunk. My bad. But then I bought her a smoothie to make up for it. Juice cleanse, guys. Juice cleanse. Look at me. I'm America. Ho ho hee hee.
That makes a lot more sense if you attend the pre-show than if you're listening to this later.
Yeah. Now, anyways, welcome to the show. Okay. Recently, we did another recording of 2 episodes where we talked about the show Has Been Hotel.
Season 2.
Another Amazon Prime television show.
Oh yeah, these are both Amazon shows. Looky there.
Yes. Now, we did a bit of a different vibe for the Has Been show than we're going to do for this show because in season 2 of Has Been, there were a lot of problems.
We wanted to talk about
things. We wanted to get into the weeds.
We had discussion.
And we ran into a bit of a problem in the exorbitant amount of prep that we put into this episode. Which is that season 2 of Fallout's just pretty good.
Yeah.
There's really not that much to complain about.
No.
I'm thinking back, reading through plots and
watching
breakdowns. I can't remember there being a plot line that didn't pay off, a character that didn't function correctly. Well, because, you can dislike a character and that doesn't mean the character's bad. Villains are bad on purpose.
I don't like Marcus. That's his name, right? Maximus.
You don't like Maximus, and Maximus is a very complex character. I think it's reasonable to not like Maximus. It's a complex character. So
angers me.
We get some answers to things in this season, and we spend a lot of this season in New Vegas. Now, I, up front, have not played Fallout New Vegas. It is heralded as one of the best, if not the best, Fallout video game of all time. I believe it. Have not played it.
I know a lot about this video game for not having played it now.
Yes.
Mainly because I watch a lot of breakdowns after every episode we watch, and so I just have new knowledge of this whole game universe that I've only played a little bit of, and it broke my computer, so...
Fallout 4. Big video game. Now, what we're going to do instead of just chit-chatting about the ups and downs of the season is we're going to go episode by episode. There's 8 in the season. We're going to do the first 4 in this episode. Next episode will be the last 4.
You know,
with a little blurb about how the show was overall.
like we used to.
Yeah, like we used to. So, in the Fallout universe, we jump around timelines a lot. Well, I'm sorry, it's not multiple timelines. We jump forward and backward in time to explore events happening pre-nuclear apocalypse, during nuclear apocalypse, and post-nuclear apocalypse. Okay? So, scenes are separated into pre-war, post-war for the most part. And when we're doing pre-war stuff, we're spending a lot of time.
War is a strong word.
It was a whole global war.
No.
Okay. You're out of your fucking mind.
No, it was fabricated. It wasn't like a real war.
No, the reason to drop the bombs was fabricated. But then the bombs dropped and everybody threw in.
I thought we were just launching them at our own people.
We dropped like a few on our own people.
Okay. I don't think you're right, but
It was a reason for it was a false flag operation. We drop a bomb on our own people so that we can throw nukes at everybody else.
But they were showing where they were going to launch all the bombs on the map when they were talking about it in season 1. They showed all the bombs that Vault-Tec was going to drop and where they were going to drop them.
Yes.
So we launched more than one bomb on our own people.
Vault-Tec aren't the only people with nukes.
I didn't say they were, but I said that you said that we launched one at our own people.
I said a few.
No, you said one.
Go on your phone and see if there was a war.
Fine, talk about the episode.
Fuck's sakes. Okay, in 2077, before the war, dumbass, I love you.
I don't think there was a war.
Oh. Oh, bro. Okay. We need to talk about Robert House. Robert House is the CEO of Robco Industries. Robco, big robotics and tool manufacturer. Back in the pre-war era, working on some tech, call it a mind control chip. And so he, in the first episode of the season, will test it on a moderately unwilling bar patron that he happens to run into. He uses it, forces the patron to murder his compatriots, and then the chip overloads or some sort, and the man's head gets blown clean off. Vicious, right? Now, we ended season 1 where our dear protagonist turned anti-hero, the Ghoul, aka Cooper Howard, learns that Vault-Tec, spearheaded partially by his wife, has a secret plan to drop bombs on American soil to cause a war to increase their stock price. Basically, reap a bunch of fucking money. Okay? So he chooses to attempt to leave with his daughter, but the local communist propagandist, Lee Moldaver, convinces him to stay and spy on his wife, whose name is Barb. She works at Vault-Tec. For some reason, Moldaver knows that Barb is going to Vegas to meet with House, Robert House, not House from the show House. Can you imagine? Never mind. Uh,
Sorry, I'm processing a lot of information right now.
Flashing forward to the post-apocalypse, we have our darling idiot vault dweller, Lucy McLean, heart of gold, brain of mush, and the ghoul as they interact with a group of maniacal motorcycle gang members called the Great Khans. Basically, they've got the ghoul strung up with a noose and they're going to hang him and kill him. And Lucy, bless her little non-violent heart, opts to try to resolve the situation amicably, which is not something you can do with the Great Khans due to the fact that their baseline tendency is to commit murders.
But in the Fallout games, you can raise your charisma to like talk yourself out of conflict, and it was kind of cool to see them represent like the other side of play, even if it was just as a slight nod and joke.
Yeah. So basically, it doesn't work. Lucy uses her weapon to wound a bunch of the cons instead of kill them, and the ghoul, having murdered so many people since the apocalypse and having been a soldier before, just starts killing, and he's killing and killing and killing. It's great. Lots of fun, lots of gore, lots of violence. Those two are in the middle of tracking Lucy's father, Hank. Now, you might remember that Hank McLean was the vault overseer at Lucy's vault, but it turns out he's a super corrupt bad guy from the pre-war. And the conspiracy that unwound over the first season was that there was a vault 31 of what was intended to be super managers that were all vault tech middle managers from the pre-war, put in cryopods and thawed out one at a time to sort of oversee vaults whenever a change in leadership was needed to continue the experiments that were going on in vaults 32 and 33. So Hank, who escaped in season 1 in power armor, headed for New Vegas.
It's also Lucy's dad. You didn't mention that, but it is Lucy's dad too.
Hank leads them to an abandoned vault called 24, where our gang of the Ghoul and Lucy will discover a bunch of skeletons and folks who have been either starved to death or just died doing what they were doing in Vault 24, where it would appear that their experimentation that was going on was Vault Tech were testing the mind control chips, and they were also testing various other methods of brainwashing and mind control with old propaganda films and hypnotism pinwheels and shit. Lots of crazy stuff, right? Uh, in the vault, a guy that Hank left there with a chip implanted briefly talks to Lucy, uh, basically letting them know that Hank knows they're following and where, like a vague whereabouts to find him, before his head gets popped by the chip. Seems to be a fatal flaw in the design. Meanwhile, back in Vault 31, we see Lucy's little brother, Norm. Now, Norm's been stuck in Vault 31 talking to a brain bot who goes by the name Bud Askins. And Norm has sort of had, like, he's been trapped in this vault for, like, what, 2-3 weeks?
Something like that.
Running out of food and water. And he makes a executive decision upon being goaded by the brain of Bud Askins. And that is he's going to kill Bud Askins' brain and wake up all of the middle management from Vault Tech all at the same time. And he is going to bullshit his way through convincing them that the bad times on the surface are over and it's time for them to ascend and take over the world, because that's sort of what Vault Tech was planning for. It didn't go that way because, war. Looks pointedly at co-presenter.
I learned that there was a war.
James was right. Mark it in the books.
Well, I genuinely did think that it was just like Vault Tech launched a bunch of nukes just to make a bunch of money. I
Well,
did
they did, but it also caused a war.
I didn't know that it caused a war. I thought that was just like the story.
Caused a whole war. Imagine that. Now, back in Vault 32, which has been briefly repopulated with former residents of Vault 33, we see Overseer Steph. Now, Steph was a side character for most of season one, um, a bit of a maniacal sociopath. Uh,
We
who,
learn.
well, she was all in favor during season one of straight up murdering the folks who raided the vault after
They
they were taken
killed her
captive.
husband and took her eye.
They did stab a fork in her eye, but she killed so many of them with a machine gun that day. And she and Norm like passed a knowing nod to each other because Norm was like, I vote we euthanize them, and she was like, yeah.
I think she's crazy, like don't get me wrong, but I don't
Blame her for it.
I think all her actions like and feelings were justified.
Wrong but justified, sure.
Murder is never the answer for legal reasons.
Now, Steph is struggling to lead a vault. She doesn't really have all the qualities of leadership. And it's kind of funny because it's a through line that I hadn't really noticed until lately, actually. But we know I believe it's mentioned at least once, maybe twice in season one that Steph is from Vault 31.
Yeah, we know she's from Vault 31. Well, we don't know it till the end. It's a big reveal actually, because Chet says it. I think someone's talking to Norm. I think is talking to him about his conspiracy with Vault 31, and he tells him he's like, well, you know that Steph is from Vault 31. It was like it was this big reveal moment. So we don't hear it until that point. So once it's revealed to us right before she's assigned, I think, that she's from Vault 31.
I don't remember. Anyways.
Okay.
She's from Vault 31. But, well, run with me on this for a second. She's from Vault 31.
Yep.
But traditionally, as we learned through this season, everyone who's in Vault 31 in the cryopods are these incredible bureaucratic middle managers. They're bred for this leadership shit. They've done all the classes, they've done all their Indeed learnings, and they're all supposed to make perfect vault overseers, right? So when Steph sucks as being a vault overseer, that should clue us in really early on in this season that she's not the same as all the Vault Tech employees that she's lumped in with. And we won't realize until later on in the season why she's different. Because she's Canadian, first of all.
No, but I was gonna say because Bud pulled some strings to get his wifey poo in there, and she doesn't have any credentials or experience.
What?
Steph? Doesn't she end up marrying Bud in the hotel? No, she marries Hank. She marries Hank. Just kidding, not Bud.
And I don't even know that she marries Hank.
Yeah,
Hank just pulls strings to get her in there.
No, they get married.
Do they?
Yes. They get married in Vegas. Hank and
now
Steph.
I'm going to the internet.
Because then she gets on her, at the end, she gets on her Pip-Boy and goes, I'm Hank McClane's wife. I want to start phase 2. That happens. I got it confused with Bud for a second, but she does get married to Hank. And I think Hank pulled some strings to get her into the vault, even though she wasn't middle management. So that his wife would be safe, which is the whole reason she married him in the first place, was to be protected from nuclear war.
I didn't think they actually got married.
She's wearing a wedding dress.
Yeah, but Hank also married Lucy's mom.
Yeah, but that's different time. Steph wasn't even unfrozen until like years after Hank.
Oh, we really should just rewatch this season. Okay.
Anyways.
Oh, fuck's sakes. Okay.
You were talking about Steph and how she's struggling with leadership.
Yeah, she's bad. She's not
bad because she doesn't have any experience.
She's also not a people person. In fact, she largely hates people.
She hates Americans.
Specifically, but like she just hates people in general.
I think she hates all the people around her because they're Americans. And she's very racist about that, we learn.
In Vault 33, the water chip fucking breaks.
We watched the same show. We watched it together. Carry on. Just, it breaks. Yep.
And Betty's the overseer of Vault 33. Blind Al from Deadpool. Draw connections for whoever, whenever I can, you know? And some of the other the funny thing is like the plot line that exists in Vault 33 is it's some of the most Fallout shit imaginable.
Are you talking about what's his bucket and his?
Yeah, what's his face in the incest club?
Yeah,
which
the support group. Yeah, it's a support
incest
group.
The incest support group.
It's actually products of incest. It's not people who have experienced incest. It's people that are born out of incest.
Theoretically, allegedly, all of it's allegedly. So. It's oh my god. Fallout as a genre really runs the gamut in the same way that Grand Theft Auto does this too, where you sprint really fast back and forth between the most gruesome, heinous, villainous, twisting, conniving plot lines you can imagine, and the goofiest, dumbest shit that you've ever heard in your life. It's this needle hitting the extremes constantly. And especially in the Fallout show, because you're shifting through all these different plot lines to touch every character in every episode, or at least think about touching every character in every episode, you bounce so frequently, so aggressively from these dark, horrific murder spree with the ghoul and the conspiracy from pre-war about how all these innocent people are going to die just for corporate greed and all this shit. And then it's like, here's the sub-manager of Vault 33 and he wants extra snacks, so he makes a club about being the product of incest, and everybody shows up because clubs get extra snacks in the vault.
Yeah.
And that's just like, there's episode 1. Like, that shit's crazy. The show is fucking bananas, dude. It's so good. I have to save that performative bit for like the end. But not the end of this episode, the end of next episode. I gotta like really wait on it. Moving on. Episode 2.
I'm also here, guys.
Do you have thoughts and opinions?
Apparently not. I've been shooting them in there. You're good. Just continue. Except every time I pipe up, it crashes everything. So.
I think we just have very different viewing experiences.
100%.
So, okay. We're gonna normally we're living in 2 different years in our show. We're 2077 pre-war, that's the year the bombs dropped, and 2296. In 2296, that's where we're with Lucy and the ghoul and all that shit's happening, right?
Quote unquote present day.
Yes, that would be the present day. Um, we start episode 2 a little bit before that. We're back in 2283. So we're
In the middle.
13 years prior, okay? We're back on surface colony Shady Sands, which in the first season, big important location. Hank on purpose dropped a nuclear bomb on it.
He didn't even drop, he delivered that shit.
Yes, so now we will see how that happened.
The delivery.
The delivery. So, a caravan trader with an ox with 2 heads, mumbling the same NPC line of dialogue, marches his way into the middle of town. Now, we're going to have a sadness, all right? Because we're going to spend a moment or two engaging with Maximus's, you remember our rogue Brotherhood of Steel knight? Maximus's parents are in Shady Sands, and so is he as a tiny tot.
Which we
Probably
knew.
like 7 years old,
8.
8 years old, thereabouts. Okay, yeah, I think you're right. Maximus's dad is running some tests on some water that they've tapped into. What we learn, or what we know from context, is that they have accidentally tapped their way into the water source for Vault 33. Oops, haha. Water, no rads, incredible. They can continue to live on the surface without fear, right? Great. Not great. Hank's pissed. His now ex-wife has abandoned the vault and is hanging out in Shady Sands. And so what's he gonna do? Like a petulant fuck, he's gonna put a nuclear bomb in it and blow it up. Ugh. So we get to see this terrifying sequence where Maximus's dad tries to disarm the bomb, fails, engages its failsafe, rushes back home with his wife and child, has a 45-second tearful goodbye, sticks his son in a fridge, tries to comfort his wife, and they're enveloped in white light as the bomb levels the city. Tragic. Boom. Moving forward, 2296. We go fast, okay? Lucy and the ghoul roll past a discount hospital. Now, normally when I say the word discount in relation to things, it's like haha, this is the Kmart brand of a hospital. Same deal, okay? This is Discount Al's hospital. It says so on the sign outside. They hear someone inside, I don't know how they fucking hear this person, hollering from like the sub-basement of the hospital. And they're on the outside just meandering about. Someone's down there screaming for help. Lucy, ever the protagonist, insists that they go in to help. The ghoul, knowledgeable about the wasteland, says, fuck that, I'm not going down there. And then he has to go down there because he needs Lucy. So they go down into the hospital, where they find a pair of wounded individuals. The ghoul recognizes that these two folks are slaves of the Legion, the Caesar's Legion, okay? Now, these motherfuckers.
Kaiser.
Yes, Kaiser, which is the appropriate pronunciation I learned. Yep. It was the Catholics who made the C soft. In original Rome, they pronounced it with that hard C or K. Yep.
Someone took 4 years of Latin. I will indulge you.
Go look it up. Anyways, the Legion being nearby, they're problematic people, okay? They're all Alpha Wolf chuds, and they wear sports equipment, and they want to remake the world in the image of Caesar and his Legion and Rome. Ha 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 ha. So they have these slaves, and these guys are wearing the garb of slaves of the Legion. The ghoul recognizes that, and because he knows so much about the wasteland, like, he knows that if these two get taken care of and back out in the wasteland, they're likely just going to get captured again and go back to suffering as slaves. Also, he doesn't care about helping people. So he murks the guy, all right? Straight up kills him. then, as ghouls do, begins to cannibalize the poor bastard. However, he then chokes and is revulsed as he finds out that the guy was previously poisoned by a rad scorpion sting. Which is big fucking bad news because that means there's rad scorpions about. A fight breaks out because the rad scorpions show up. The ghoul does everything in his power to be selfish and not get stung, gets stung anyways. Lucy uses her one and only remaining stim pack to save the lady slave, telling the ghoul basically to go fuck himself. And she and the lady head out. The ghoul will eventually recover because he's made of radiation and spite. But anyways, the lady and Lucy head out, and the lady literally walks her straight back to the Legion. And then I believe in the background of another scene, you watch them kill that girl.
You're not even in the background. They just kill her right next to Lucy because she was supposed to come back with her knight and she didn't. And so,
oops.
It's not called a knight for them, but
Lucy learns a lot of hard lessons in this season, like that you think, oh, maybe she should have learned that in the first season, but
she's busy learning other lessons in the first season.
Yeah, like how fucking works. She does learn that.
Well, I mean, she did cousin stuff before. She knew how.
Over the clothes. Maybe. Now
I was like, that's never stated.
It's not. I'm really like gambling there. We've galloped back to Vault 31, where Norm is trying his very hardest. Did you have something?
I did, but I've been waiting for very long. I have the answer to our quarrel about Caesar versus Kaiser.
Tell me.
We're both right. See, the Roman Empire was a very long stand. It took a long time to fall. There's many, basically, older Latin versus newer Latin pronunciations of things.
Yeah. So when they say Kaiser in the show, they're right.
If you're talking about the first half of the Roman Empire, yes, but the second half of the Roman Empire referred to it as Caesar.
Sure, but these guys are stupid.
I know. I'm just saying we're both right because technically under the same Roman Empire and the same Latin, it changed. Basically like slang as... It's not like a modern pronunciation of it is what I'm saying. It was still pronounced that way in ancient Rome.
Yeah.
Just later ancient Rome. Pronounced it Caesar.
All right. Did you have more?
No.
Oh, okay.
What the fuck?
They call themselves Kaiser's Legion. I don't know what to tell you. They don't go around saying Caesar.
I was just saying it's not necessarily the correct pronunciation. Never mind. Just go. I do all this work. I do all this research. It gets me nowhere.
We can't both be right, and then you tell me I'm wrong.
I didn't say you were wrong.
You did. You were like, it just isn't the correct one.
No, what you said was wrong. Listen. Fucking just talk about the episodes or we're never going to get through this.
Right. Norm's doing his best improv job to convince all these middle managers from Vault 31 that this is a test from Bud Askins. And he does a great job, gets them all onto the surface. Hooray, hooray. Hank has reached a vault in Vegas somewhere, a hidden vault. And within underground, yes. Good point. Within it, it's this massive research facility, presumably for Vault Tech, but not explicitly stated for Vault Tech. Because we don't know necessarily that Hank is all in for Vault Tech, because he could also be all in for the Syndicate. Syndicate? The Enclave. My mistake.
I was like, wrong franchise,
Wrong
my guy.
franchise. I've been in on a lot of shit lately. A lot of media. Hank may be working for the Enclave. It's not clear. He also may be working for Mr. House, which we learn later is not true, but it
I don't
appears
think
that
he
way.
was working. I think they were friends.
Theoretically, yeah.
Not even theoretically. I think that's canonically.
I'm not sure, but I believe you.
He calls it.
So Hank is just sort of like going around trying to get promoted by working on the brain chip technology again. And he's the only person there. And so he just keeps using, like, he keeps testing it on mice over and over and over again and blowing all their fucking heads off. And then eventually he steals a. No, he doesn't steal a guy. First, he thaws out a guy,
Yes.
plants the chip in him before he wakes up, wakes him up, tests the thing on him, blows his head off. Woof. Not going great for Hank. Then we get to jump to our Brotherhood of Steel. Yay, we love them. We don't love them. They're a bunch of chuds as well.
I hate all of the Brotherhood of Steel, Maximus included.
Maximus is like a slightly more tolerable version of the rest of the Brotherhood of Steel. Maximus and the gaggle fucks from the Brotherhood of Steel resettle in Area 51, which is just so haha funny. And we get to see a bunch of like artifacts and shit in the warehouses on in Area 51 after they find the keys to unlock it, basically. And here, the elder of his Brotherhood of Steel chapter, whose name is Quintus, will call a meeting, effectively creating a mild civil war. He calls a meeting without talking to the Commonwealth. Yes?
It's not a civil war yet. It's more like a coup. Maximus
Yeah,
starts
right.
the civil war.
You're right. You're right. Quintus starts a coup a little bit, where he calls a meeting with a bunch of the other West Coast chapters of the Brotherhood of Steel
To overthrow the
to
Commonwealth.
overthrow the Commonwealth because they've got the cold fusion reactor from season 1. Now, the other elders are sort of skeptical about it, but when promised a bunch of fusion cores, they vaguely agree to get in on it. However, in the middle of a fist fight that Maximus has to participate in because reasons, a guy from the Commonwealth shows up by the name of Xander Harkness, played by Kumail? Yeah. No.
No. I'll look it up. You keep going.
His name's escaping me and it's making me sad. Anyways, Xander Harkness shows up and he's like, guys, coup, not cool. That ends second episode. Now, in the third episode, we start once again back in time, 2077. The guy we will later learn is Robert House. It is Kumail Nanjiani. Love him. He's so funny. The guy we will later learn is Robert House, confronts Cooper Howard at a veterans event about his loyalties, asking him why people call him Pinko and stuff like that. Because people think Cooper, for some reason, is a communist. Everyone thought everyone in the 50s was a communist. It was crazy. So, Cooper is like, what about you go fuck yourself? And House is like, touche. And that ends that interaction. We also learn at that event that Cooper is kind of a major league war hero. Like, we already knew he was a bad motherfucker in the war. And we knew he was one of the best to ever use the power armor. We learned all that in season 1.
This is also a different war, though. This isn't the nuclear war.
No. This is the pre-nuclear war. This is
the Alaskan War.
It's the Sino-American War, which happens in Alaska between the Americans and the Chinese.
Yes.
And in this war, Cooper is like a bad motherfucker, right? And he's using like one of the oldest versions of the power armor in it. It's great. we'll actually see more of that in the 4th episode of this season. So we get this little story about how Cooper saved like 2 or 3 people with his bare hands from this deeply overwhelmed position, and it's just awesome. It's a tale of badass bravery. Um, Flashing forward to 2296, Lucy cannot talk her way out of Caesar the
Anything.
Legion. No. It's so funny to see a character who's so convinced that they've got charisma out the ass, but in reality they only have charisma with their specific group of people. She's only got charisma for vault dwellers. Everyone else takes full advantage of her because she's a vaulty and an idiot. So they crucify her. They nail her. They do not nail her, but they tie her to a cross and stick her up in the sun. Like Romans do, historically. What do Romans do? Burn down cities and crucify people.
And apparently changed their pronunciation of things.
See, Kaiser became Caesar. The German Kaiser had to come from somewhere, though. Now, the ghoul recovers rapidly from his injuries in the hospital and needs to get Lucy from the Legion. However, he doesn't fancy his odds doing it by himself, so he fucks off to try and find a nearby chapter of the New California Republic. Now, we haven't really talked about the New California Republic that much. Basically, it's a group of well-meaning but mildly bungling soldier types who intend to restore the country back to a more idealized version of what America used to be.
1950s America. Forever and always.
Well, their goal is to do slightly better than that, but yes, that was the last known thing they knew, so yes. That's where the history books sort of stopped. So yeah, slightly better than 1950s America. And they've been getting their ass kicked just across the country. So the ghoul finds a couple of folks from the New California Republic, reunites with a Robco Securitron robot that he knows named Victor. And the NCR tells him, yeah, no, we're not doing that. We're pretty weak right now. We can't be out there helping you.
But we're also winning.
Yes.
That's my favorite thing. We're struggling. We don't have enough soldiers. We're winning though.
Their propaganda is really good. We're getting our shit rocked, but we are winning. That's just classic America. So, not you, classic the country.
No, I know.
Okay.
I was making many faces for reasons.
So, the ghoul goes, all right, well, here's what I'll do. And he marches straight into the Legion's camp and negotiates with them and offers them the location of the remaining chapter of the NCR for Lucy's life. And they're like, hell yeah. Little do they know that he's gone to the trouble and effort to booby trap the whole camp. Now, a brief aside, because the Legion, we didn't talk about it when we first ran into them. We got to talk about it now. The Legion is having its own little civil war because the last Kaiser died. And he died before he revealed who the next Kaiser was supposed to be.
He kept it on a piece of paper in his pocket.
The guy, his corpse rather, is on a berm in between two halves of the Legion's camp. And each half thinks that their chosen champion is the guy who's supposed to be the next Kaiser. But no one can get to the corpse of the previous Kaiser to get the paper to see who it's supposed to be.
Because they'll get killed by the other side.
Right. So there's a mild, major civil war happening in the Legion. The ghoul uses this to his advantage by sabotaging and blowing up a part of the camp, kickstarting a firefight between the Legion factions. Now, far as fuck away, over in Nevada, the Brotherhood has their alliance that was very loosely created in the last episode of the leaders of the different chapters completely fall apart once a guy from the Commonwealth shows up. Yes, America.
Did you just say far as fuck away in Nevada, even though Vegas is also in Nevada?
Well, he's not to Nevada yet. They're in the desert outside of. They're in the desert outside of Vegas, but they're not quite in Vegas yet.
But they're in Nevada.
Where's Area 51 though?
Isn't that New Mexico?
I think it's because the Brotherhood's in. Did I say the Brotherhood? Oh, I'm getting all twisted up. The Brotherhood's not in Vegas. The
No.
Brotherhood is in Area 51, which is.
It's in Nevada.
Is it really?
Everybody's in Nevada. That's why Area 15 is in Vegas. It's a joke for.
I thought it was in New Mexico. Like, close, but. Now zoom out on this map. We're looking at a map. It's great podcast content. Area 51, Vegas. Okay, Area 51 is north of Vegas. Okay, cool.
But both are in Nevada,
Yes,
which is
both
what
are in
I was saying.
Okay, now.
Far as fuck away, also in Nevada. Brotherhood.
The alliance falls apart because Harkness shows up. Maximus, like an idiot, offers to Quintus to kill Harkness.
Do you want me to kill that guy for you?
Thank you, John Mulaney. I'll totally kill that guy for you. And Quintus is like, what the fuck? Who told you to talk? It's very funny. Maximus has main character syndrome in that he frequently makes decisions with like the confidence of a main character, but is a bumbling idiot the whole rest of the time and not worthy of the main character energy, really. But he's trying. So Quintus is like, what the fuck? No, we got to figure this out. Don't talk to me. And Maximus is like, oh, and he goes and sulks. Then Harkness finds him because Maximus is a little bit famous for being a bad motherfucker who took over after his knight died.
That's not why.
Well, yeah, that's not why.
They think
Maximus is a fake bad motherfucker. Okay, Maximus is a badass, but not for the reasons anyone thinks he's a badass.
They think he's a badass because they think he took down Moldava and got cold fusion.
Right, which is what earned him knighthood, anyways.
He's about to be executed for taking over from his knight.
Harkness finds Maximus pouting and goes, hey, do you want to go like fuck around in the desert for a little while? And Maximus is like, we can have fun? What? And Harkness is like, yeah, we have fun all the time in the Commonwealth. You guys are fucking weird. And Max is like, I'd love to have fun. Hooray! And they get on a bird and they fly out to go fuck around and have fun in the desert. Because if you had power armor and big fuck off guns, you also would probably like to go fuck around in the desert, have some fun. So they go out and Harkness is like prodding Maximus, trying to see if Max is like gonna do a civil war. And in the meantime, they find some robots, they kill the robots, and then they run into Thaddeus. Now, you probably don't remember Thaddeus, and that's because he was a secondary character in the first season. Well, he comes back with a vengeance in this season, and boy, howdy, is he entertaining to watch.
It's way better this season than last season.
Yeah, last season he was a dick. This season he's like a coward, but fun. So Thaddeus, in his mildly irradiated state, is running a child work factory where he gets a bunch of children to take the bottle caps off of Sunset Sarsaparilla, which is the rival beverage to Nuka-Cola, because bottle caps are currency in the wasteland. So he's basically got a work camp of half ghoul children, half regular children. And Maximus and Harkness stumble upon him. And Harkness separates all the ghoul children from all the not irradiated children and he's going to commit a brief act of horrific violence, kind of akin to Anakin Skywalker slaughtering the younglings. Ooh. Except for Maximus having some sense of right and wrong, smashes him in the head with a hammer
And starts a civil war. There's your civil war. James.
and starts a civil war. And that's season 3.
Episode 3.
That's episode 3. Final episode of the season. Good God, I am not here today. I'm just not here today.
Final episode of this episode for us is episode 4, which is The Demon of the Snow, which is where we get that kind of look at the story that was being told about Cooper. We get to see the Sino-American War and how Cooper is ambushed by the Chinese soldiers and all that stuff. So that's kind of how we enter this episode, but then we jump back to 2296.
Well, you didn't even mention the Deathclaw. We get our first proper look at a Deathclaw.
Now you're here?
Only because you're wrong. Well, not wrong. You're just omitting information.
Past Deathclaw not nearly as important as present Deathclaw.
True. But he's got PTSD about it.
Yes. You also didn't talk at all about Lucy being high as a freaking kite for most of the first couple episodes.
Well, she doesn't get addicted to drugs until this episode.
Oh, never mind.
Lucy gets addicted to drugs. But that happens later.
I was talking about Norm. I just wanted to talk about Norm.
Talk about Norm. Well, no, you don't want to talk about Norm?
You stole my Norm thunder.
I don't want any Norm thunder. That's fucking weird. Moises Arias is not going to give me any Norm thunder.
What the fuck?
I don't know.
Norm is growing suspicious. Because one of the Vault Tech people is talking weird about phase 2 of the plan, and Norm doesn't know what that is. So
this is where Norm's unwavering confidence starts to show its Swiss cheese ass holes in it.
He's just like, nah, you lead the way to phase 2. I know where we're going, but you lead the way. Like, it just starts falling apart really quickly.
You learn really quickly that unless you're really, really good at it, yes-anding doesn't work when you don't know all the information.
And then we go back into Vault 33, where they're starting to run on water. They're on water restrictions because their water chip broke, if you don't remember. And Betty goes and tries to make a deal with Steph to share their water, because only Vault 33, even though they're attached, is having water issues. So Vault 30, Steph says, yeah, I will give you all the water you could possibly want, Betty, if you go get me this certain thing that's in Hank's office.
A box.
And Betty was like,
what?
No.
Maybe? No.
And then, so they don't end up making a deal. And
talk about the tragedy. Woody overhears them.
Oh.
Now, I don't remember if you remember Woody, but this is Zach Cherry's character from the first season.
He's not going to be in any more seasons because he's too busy doing Severance.
Oops. Now,
so because of this,
Woody overhears this exchange between Vault leaders go on, which is unsanctioned. It's not supposed to be happening. And so Woody, like an idiot, will confront his Vault leader, Steph, about it. Not knowing that Steph is a brutal serial killer.
Also, like, that's Vault protocol, and Woody's by the book. You go to the Overseer to report bad behavior, but the bad behavior was from the Overseer, so...
Oops. So we don't see how it happens or where it happens.
She kills him.
But she kills him and jams his glasses, his iconic Woody glasses, in the garbage disposal of her home that she shares with Chet and her baby that she has named Chet Jr., which is a whole debacle. Chet, upon discovering the glasses, will continue to hide the evidence, freaking out, and then, suspicious of his roommate, soon-to-be wife, discovers that
Non-consensually.
yes, discovers that she has a pre-war, i.e., pre-2078 Canadian identification card, which is crazy.
Because we really hate the Canadians in this universe.
Yes, for reasons. Um, Meanwhile, Maximus has to solve the problem he started by killing the emissary from the Commonwealth. And so he sticks Thaddeus in the power armor of Harkness, and they go back to Area 51. Thaddeus does, I don't know what D&D ass nat 20 Thaddeus rolled to believably convince everyone that he was Harkness.
It is not a nat 20. It's high, but
I only say it's a nat 20 because he's so unbelievably bad at it that it doesn't make any sense. Like it has
That's
to be a
fair.
supernaturally good odds.
But not everyone believes him, so more like a 19.
Yeah, but the thing is that they don't understand what's happening, but they don't know enough information to be like, he's lying, he's wrong. They're just like, what the what?
Well, Maximus's friend is all like, that's not what's his bucket was going on. What'd you do?
Oh yeah, Dane. Yeah.
Yeah, Dane's immediately like, nah.
Well,
What'd
that's
you
because
do?
Dane's the only fucking person in the Brotherhood of Steel who has a brain.
Facts.
So in order to prevent civil war, Maximus thinks to himself, well, I know what I'll do. I'll kill Quintus, my adopted dad and cult leader, and then the Commonwealth will be like, oh, that's okay that the emissary died. You put down a rebellious leader. Good on you.
Everybody wins.
Here's a promotion. And so he tries to kill Quintus, but he's bad at it. And so while he's having this firefight with Quintus, Dane steals the cold fusion, forcing Max and Thaddeus to reconnect. Max does not get back in his armor.
Mm-mm.
And they fucking bounce with the cold fusion, right? They escape into the desert. Cut back to the NCR camp, where the ghoul has taken Lucy to recover from her mild brush with death via
Here's
crucifixion.
where it happens.
And Lucy gets injected with a cocktail of drugs. Now, the ghoul has been on the drugs for forever, to the point where in the first season he gets shot with a trank dart by Lucy, and it does nothing to him. Lucy gets her first hit of a cocktail of some amount of drugs to that magnitude, and she is immediately addicted. She and the ghoul will march their way into the Vegas Strip, where she will by herself kill a gang of the Kings, who are a bunch of Elvis lookalike wannabe ghouls, in a drug fueled murder rampage that is one of the best sequences of violence in the show to date. Phenomenal. And the whole time you just get Lucy just completely turned on her head. It's a totally fun character turn for her, and it's aided in the fact that it's a temporary change. Like you don't have to say goodbye to the vault dweller Lucy that you either love or hate, because you're going to get back to it. At least it's comfortable and something you know. But you get to have this dalliance with Lucy, the raging, drugged out homicidal maniac.
Yep.
And that's fun for a minute.
Yes.
And then, they work their way through the strip, arm up a little bit, head into a quarantine zone where they are confronted with a Deathclaw. Only it's not a Deathclaw. It's like 6 Deathclaws. And that's the end of the end of episode 4. of season 2.
And the end of
Fallout.
episode 1 for us.
Thank God. I need something.
Alright, y'all. Been a minute. Been a long minute. I think since, like, Christmas. Something crazy like that. No, it wasn't that long, because we did Moana. Alright. We're gonna vote. We're gonna do a vote, guys. Get your shit ready. Next movie. There is a correct answer. I'm not going to tell you all what it is, but there is a correct answer. Okay. I'm going to go make sure James is okay. Have fun. Make good choices. That was not the correct answer, you guys. First of all, the correct answer was not ending in a tie. Second of all, the correct answer was Wicked. I just want to watch Wicked. And now you don't get to vote for like another 2 episodes. I don't know where James is. Yes, I did want to watch Wicked. He hasn't seen part 2. He doesn't know. I'm also having to talk quietly like this because I'm waiting for him to come back. And the door is right next to the child's room. I know I'm too soft. Now I can talk to y'all in a normal volume. Ah!
You could shut the door.
I thought you were coming. And then you simply didn't do that. Everyone is giving me brain pain. It's a tie. But good news, we've unlocked a new level of things to watch in the household. Listen, you guys aren't ready. That's not level. There you go. You guys aren't ready for a Cars 3 stream because we now have extensive Cars knowledge. I've watched the first 2 movies a good 24 times at this point. So we're gonna have way too much to talk about for Cars than when we were supposed to watch it originally. And you finally get to watch Chicago, which is exciting.
They both reach for the gun. Right? That
Yes.
one? Look at me knowing shit.
I'm proud of you. Can you know shit about the show that we're talking about, though?
No.
So Hank and Steph get married in the olden times. In the old there before.
The old what?
Sorry.
The old there before?
It's a Hunger Games thing.
Suzanne, stop it. Get some help.
I finished Sunrise on the Reaping this week, so. Alrighty. You ready? We're talking about this episode.
Give me 45 seconds to read that paragraph before we talk about it.
Time. Nope,
Great.
You got 45 seconds. You went over.
I said great. No, I'm ready.
A second after I said time.
How much makeup are you wearing?
more than you want to touch right now. Want to know how you can tell? My eyes are a different color than the rest of my face. You don't want to do that either. All right, ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Hi, I'm America. That's James. This is CityWavesCinema. We are talking about Fallout for the second episode in a row, and I could only let that intro happen once. It drove me insane.
Want a divorce? Just tell me now. Live on camera.
James, I cannot handle the anxiety that happens when I watch the counter go from 4 to 5.
But 1 to 4 is okay?
No.
Oh. I'm confused. Anyways.
What else is new for the Fallout discussion? James is confused.
Fallout Season 2, Episode 5, entitled The Wrangler. There's a lot to get through here, so stick with me, all right? We're gonna power through. Are you okay? Are you all right?
Yes.
What's happening? Were you confused?
No, I thought I didn't have liquids, and this was going to be a really bad time.
All right.
But I have liquids.
Everyone, we're hydrated. Vaguely. Moist.
No.
In our healthy era. Don't choke and die now.
Juice cleanse.
Juice cleanse. The year 2077. Kate Williams, a.k.a. Moldaver, orders Coop to kill Robert House and retrieve the cold fusion device. Coop says, that's a little much for me. How about I just get the device? And that seems to be fine. So, Coop, Barb, and a much younger Hank, haha, Lucy's dad, do a bit of a travel from LA to the Lucky 38 Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada, where Coop will run into the real Robert House, who we have seen commit these grievous experiments in prior episodes. And he informs Coop that he plans to use the cold fusion device to survive indefinitely after he learns via math that the nuclear war is inevitable. He also informs Coop that the nuclear war will be caused by an unknown third party that he has yet to identify. It will not be himself who drops the bombs, and it will not be Vault-Tec who drops the bombs. Now, what we know as the audience is that it is Vault-Tec who does it. However, the conspiracy here is that the Enclave will use Vault-Tec to do it for ulterior motives. We've also, it wasn't mentioned in any of the recaps of the episodes thus far, but in a previous episode, we did see a guy from season 1 who is of the Enclave engage with Barb at a building that is owned and operated by Vault-Tec. And he mildly threatens her. Do you remember that? She gets in the elevator, and the guy who stole the cold fusion from the Enclave and went on the run in 2296 is there.
Oh, the doctor guy.
The doctor guy who went on the run with dog meat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's there in the elevator with her in 2077.
I don't think he threatens her. I think he cryptically says horrific messages to people.
I mean, that is kind of his bit, but yeah, that...
it's less like a threat and more like a...
Remember, it's not just Vault-Tec who's here.
Yeah, literally, it's more like
he's just vaguely threatening in general.
More like a cryptic warning of everything.
Yeah, so the conspiracy here is that the Enclave uses Vault-Tec as a proxy to start a war. And the Enclave doesn't fucking care about money. The Enclave wants power. The Enclave wants to take over the world, so they'll trick Vault-Tec into dropping nuclear bombs in a false flag operation to start a war to line their pockets, which really just hands control over the world to the Enclave. What a world there is left to fucking control, right? So, flash forward to 2296, Norm and the gaggle of fucks from the Vault-Tec middle management group reach the ruins of not the A company headquarters near Los Angeles, where Norm will uncover some information about the FEV. Now, the FEV is a plot device from the first. It's not from the first. It's from the Fallout games. It's called the Forced Evolutionary Virus. And what it is, I believe it's either Enclave or Vault-Tec experimentation that creates the Death Claws and as a handful of other horrid amalgamations of creatures that populate the wasteland. And we're not informed or even led to any paths that would explain to us what they're doing with the FEV currently in the show, but they reference it a few times.
I mean, well, yeah, I guess right now we don't know.
Like phase 2, like we learned about from that Vault-Tec middle manager that Norm's running with, has something to do with the FEV, but we don't know what. And they don't tell us what, nor do they really give us an ambiguous, like, oh, it could be this.
Well,
they're just like, we have another phase of the plan, and it has to do with the FEV, and that's all we really know.
Unless you know a lot about Fallout.
Sure. In which case, you learn that they're going to use it in
the water.
Yep.
They're going to put it in their water. And they're going to turn Vault 31, 32, 33
into the evolutionized versions of whatever.
Yeah.
So, Norm learns this and is then promptly strangled by Ronnie, but not before he records a message on the radio and sends it out on the radio waves, asking his dad, Hank, why he lied about the future of their vaults and if that's really going to happen to all of their friends and cousins and families and such, right? Norm is coming to grips with the fact that his dad might be a bad guy.
Oh, yeah, because Norm doesn't know that.
Yeah, Norm doesn't know that Hank's a piece of shit. Oops. So, Lucy and the Ghoul narrowly escape death at the hands of the Death Claws and work their way into Freeside, which is imagine Fremont Street, but like good and not super seedy in Vegas. And they're just having a nice old time. And Lucy begins her first of many crimes by stealing a power fist. And the Ghoul goes in search of drugs, if I recall correctly. Or no, he goes and gets hammered.
Yeah, he's on a separate thing. Lucy's actually originally going to go look for...
She's trying to get the
things that make you get off all the drugs immediately.
I can't remember. It's like rehab, but it's in a drug, and I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, it has a name.
And it costs like 1 billion bottle caps.
And then while she's there, she also just steals the power fist.
Yeah, especially after she learns that someone literally moments before killed the shop owner.
Yeah.
And took his identity. It's the show's fucking crazy. Hank kidnaps the snake oil salesman from the first season. Now, hearken back with me to Thaddeus in season 1, where Thaddeus sells a fusion core to the snake oil salesman for a cure to...
He needs to grow his foot. Well, he needs to fix his foot.
Yeah, basically a super mega medicine. It's snake oil. It's bullshit. And what it is part... It might be part FEV, to be honest. with how it radiates the poor bastard. Um, and so the snake oil salesman has worked his way to Vegas, and Hank kidnaps that guy and sticks a chip in his neck. Uh, and the funny that it's such a goofy fucking thing where he basically, like, after he sticks the chip in him, the guy wakes up in the lab, and Hank's going like, if you had the opportunity to erase all of your worst memories and forget everything from before right now, and describes this super depressing and dark scenario where you'd have no memories and you're basically this fresh new person. And the guy's like, oh God, yes, it's very funny. So he submits to the control.
Which Hank
God,
then
it's so
learns is
stupid.
the key to why all the other mind controls weren't working, is you have to find someone who's willing to submit to the
Yeah.
mind control.
Figuring that out, he will promptly get a bunch of fucking people submitting to the control. He then uses the snake oil salesman to summon the ghoul, offering the ghoul the safety of his former family in exchange for getting Lucy back to Vault 33. Which is like 2 or 3 layers of super fucked up. Because on the one hand, it looks maybe like Hank's trying to get his daughter back to safety. But he's not really, because we need to remember that Hank is overseeing a plan to have the forced evolutionary virus distributed into the water systems of both Vault 33 and 32.
Yeah.
Which he must know his daughter will consume the water of. And therefore, he does not care even a little bit about Lucy and is totally fine with her being completely fucked by the FEV.
To be fair, he didn't call for phase 2 to start, so maybe he was going to wait until
Maybe.
Like his children were gone or something. I don't know.
Could be. But he still wants them to go back, and there is a plan to fuck up both those vaults. So the ghoul takes him up on that shit real fucking quick. Reveals to Lucy that he brought Lucy with him strictly to negotiate with Hank, and plunks her with a tranquilizer dart. However, Lucy is still got just a little bit of drugs in her system, and it fights off the tranquilizer for just long enough for her to power fist super mega punch the ghoul in the chest. He flies out the window, falling backwards, gets impaled on a street pole, sinking down to the very base. And he will remain there for a time. Lucy will collapse. Hank arrives and effectively kidnaps her. Now, there is something that's been going on in little tiny flickers that really ramps up in the next episode with the ghoul. I'll talk about that for a moment before we get into the meat of the episode. The ghoul is at the very end of his ghoul lifespan. And by that I mean he has gone well past the lifespan of a ghoul. He has lived for way fucking longer than a ghoul should live. And that's mostly because he's really, really good at getting a hold of the injectable. It's not an injectable. It's an inhalant that keeps his feral ghoul tendencies under control. He's turning feral. And he doesn't have a ton of the inhalants left, and he's having to use them a lot more frequently. And while he's trapped on the pole, he is going to really start losing himself. All right. Now, episode 6, flashback with me to 2077. Cooper finally confronts Barb about the Vault Tech plan to false flag and drop bombs. Horrific. It's a tense confrontation. Cooper's been dreading it. They've been building it up for almost a full season of television. It's crazy. And Barb handles it pretty much like a champ, reveals that she is trying to shield her family from the inevitable nuclear war by playing the role that she is meant to play, only sharing the idea of dropping the bombs first after it was suggested by our Enclave guy, Dr. Wilzig. Their relationship remains frosty for the time being, given the nature of events. Later, Cooper will drug Hank, young Hank, who has the cold fusion injected inside of him. And the injection gun in a case handcuffed to his wrist. Cooper will drug Hank because Hank's a little starstruck because he's Cooper fucking Howard, famous movie star. He basically roofies Hank.
Yeah.
Plops him in a hotel room. Barb shows up and it's like, God damn it, Cooper. They open up the case, steal the cold fusion, and we flash forward to 2296. Woody's missing. Chet finds out he's officially going to get married to Steph.
Because no one told him.
Oops. Moving over a vault, Vault 33, sorry, that's the guy who's running the, oh my god, I'm a result of incest club support group, which is really just a front to over exuberant snacking.
Not for him. I think it started out as like a genuine, like, because he is the product of incest, into I'm getting lots of positive attention for this.
Yeah, true.
But I think like he started off by like making a genuine club, and then he likes the power. And
everyone
attention.
keeps hanging out because it's free snacks, and he's leaning hard into it, right? Betty wants to shut down the club and brings like straight up riot police to shut down his little adventure. And Reg stands up to him a little bit. Meanwhile, deep in the secret research facility that Hank is operating, Lucy wakes up in a vault room in the facility and freaks out. She busts out and finds out that Hank has been kidnapping Wastelanders and brainwashing them, inserting the chips into their necks, and convincing them to manufacture more control chips. So she takes Hank hostage, intending to, god damn it. It's one of the most frustrating plot lines because it's like, oh, what good intentions, you stupid fuck. She wants to take Hank back to Vault 33 to see justice. Now, she doesn't know anything that's going on in the vaults, but like, that's not a good idea. Just as a baseline, you should just kill that guy. I know he's your dad. He nuked a city. He's a dangerous man.
He definitely killed your mom.
Like, put him down. He is a threat. A pure, horrifying, nicely painted threat.
Plus, now you know that he's like brainwashing all these people and stuff too. Like, what are you doing?
You gotta get him. And she just won't. She wants to take it back to Vault 33 for justice. For destroying Shady Sands, mind you. Instead, he tricks her into brainwashing two rival Wastelanders. And she has to play along with him for now because she has a lot of conflicting feelings. Meanwhile, we get a first look at what will be a season 3 character, I think.
Probably.
In the Super Mutant.
Because we needed another group of people to keep track of.
Ron Perlman. Oh, dude, there's so many fucking factions in Fallout. It's crazy.
I know.
So we get the Super Mutant who rocks up into New Vegas and saves the ghoul from the pole he's trapped on, and saving him from going feral all the way, and healing him by taking a radioactive piece of rock and putting it inside the ghoul's chest cavity, which then heals around it. I don't know if that's going to artificially preserve his life for, I don't know, another fucking 200 years, and if he'll stave off the feral tendencies or not. I don't know. We won't know, but that's what happens. And he tries to recruit him to go to war with the Enclave, who is the true instigator behind the nuclear war. And the ghoul politely declines And the mutant's like, okay, and knocks him unconscious to ensure that he doesn't know where the ghoul or where the super mutant's hiding. After the fact, Dog Meat links up with Maximus and Thaddeus. Ah, you forgot about them for a couple episodes, right?
You also probably forgot about Dog Meat.
Yep, they've been wandering in the desert, and Dog Meat finds them and drags them to where the ghoul is, somewhere in a warehouse around Vegas. And that's the end of episode 6. Now, episode 7.
We're gonna learn all the things that James forgot.
Things really fucking kick off in episode 7, which a brief aside. I don't love these short season TV shows. I understand it's necessary when you're doing like full hour-long movies for episodes.
Would you like at least 10 episodes?
I would love a 10-episode season. Like, just give me more, man. You're already spending an exorbitant amount of money on it.
He can blame. He can blame.
HBO.
Yeah, Game of Thrones.
Bastards. I just want more content. I just want even more, but I don't want it to be slop. You're spending the money on extraordinarily talented individuals. Give me 10 episodes. 10-hour-long episodes is great. That's so many half-hour episodes. It's 20. That's nearly a full season of a sitcom.
It's just the way you said it.
I did say it wrong. What's the average, like, from the late 90s, early aughts of a season of a sitcom? Was it like 22 episodes?
Yeah, thereabouts.
Yeah. Dude, if you gave me 2 more episodes of a season of Fallout, you'd have a full television show's worth of content from the golden age of television. You could do it. You just could. You could do it. All right. But one thing I do like about the shortened seasons is you're guaranteed that the second to last episode of the season is going to be really, really good and really, really anxiety inducing. Because it's the episode where you learn a bunch of facts and you have to ask a bunch of questions about all the facts you just learned. And then the last episode of the season, you have to answer all the questions that you just asked in the last episode. And it's fun like that. I think that's fun. Now, episode 7. Pre-war. 2077, maybe.
Probably not, because it was before
the Sino War. So 20s in the 2070s sometime. They do not give us a date. We see Steph escape an internment camp in Canada occupied by America with her mother, who is wounded. Her mother dies and tells her, get south, kill everyone you can see. Take advantage of everybody, kill whoever you need, survive, get south, deep into America. And Steph takes that literally. To the point where she will get a job at the company where they kill everybody. Ha ha! So, she makes her way all the way to Vegas. And in 2077, working at the hotel in Vegas, she meets Hank. And she tries to find a job at Vault Tech, and she schmoozes Hank just a little bit. And Coop plays a role in them meeting. And
well, it's because
it's because Hank's still drugged, and Coop gets her to wheel him out.
And she's asking him, she's like, well, how do you get a job in Vault Tech and blah, blah, blah. And he's like,
this is the guy you gotta ask.
Yeah, talk to him. And she's like, got it. And then they get married. Ta-da!
Yep. Incredible.
I'll say this about Steph. She works fast.
She works fast. Okay, so Cooper gets advised by Congressman Diane Welch. Now, we have not talked about Diane Welch at all. Diane Welch is a congresswoman
Oh yeah.
who, a few episodes earlier, spoke at the Veterans Benefit where we learned the cool story about Coop.
Which is why Cooper trusts her.
Yes, and she makes a big deal everywhere she goes. She's got this horrible monotonous voice and really well done acting. Um she makes this whole big deal about how she's not establishment because she's homegrown and she raised all her own money, blah 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 blah.
No one takes her
Fucking
seriously because she always roots for like the little causes and
yep.
blah blah blah.
It's incredible cover. She is a politician. She is bought and paid for by Vault-Tec. Congresswoman Diane Welch convinces Coop that all the problems will go away if he gives the cold fusion relic to the president, played by Clancy Brown. Remarkable. This will cause the war. This
Yep.
is exactly what causes the war because Clancy Brown is Enclave. The president's the Enclave. Part of it, anyways. So, flash forward 2296. Norm recovers from his strangulation, tries to transmit a radio message to Lucy, is recaptured. Flash to the vaults. Betty relents, gets the box of shit that Hank had to give to Steph because her vaulties need water. Gives it to Steph. During Steph's wedding, up in front of everybody, Chet fully accuses her of killing Woody and reveals that she has a Canadian identification card.
She's Canadian.
Everyone loses their shit.
Mainly because she's Canadian, not because she killed Woody. For the record, like when they were like, "Well, we don't really know, we don't have any proof," and he was like, "And she's Canadian," and everyone's like,
Yeah. So Steph flees back to her office and is pursued by the Vaulties. Flash to the Vault-Tec facility. Lucy appears to be going along with Hank's plan to microchip everyone and live in an egalitarian society in a perfect world. And then she secretly sabotages it by shutting down the control chips' mainframe and handcuffing her dad to a stove. And the way that she shuts down the mainframe, this shit's crazy. This shit's some Fallout shit, right? She works her way down to where the mainframe is, opens the door, and discovers that the mainframe for the chips is being run by the disembodied head of Congresswoman Welch, who has theoretically been in here for like 200 years.
and tells her to kill her.
And yes, does beg Lucy to kill her. The implication here is that everyone who has a chip installed in them is basically functioning as Congresswoman Welch in terms of their personality. Like their whole persona gets replaced by the blank, boring canvas that is Welch, which is fucking crazy. In the meanwhile, Max, Thaddeus, and the Ghoul agree to team up to rescue Lucy in exchange for the cold fusion relic. So they go and arm up, and it's badass. You love a badass arm up sequence. On the strip, they rock up, and Max fights the Death Claws in his power armor. He's just like one-on-one. He one-on-ones all the Death Claws at first one at a time, and then they gang up on him, and it's rough. Thaddeus intends to help him, but then his arm falls off, which is very FEV mutant of him.
This is where, yeah, we start to see that he's probably not becoming a ghoul and is probably becoming a mutant.
Mm-hmm. In the meanwhile, the Ghoul infiltrates the Lucky 38, uses the relic to activate Mr. House's whole setup in his secret office and comes face to face with House on a screen. Very much like in the game Fallout New Vegas. And that is the end of episode 7. Man, lots happened. It was really, really fucking good. Really entertaining. I'd say one of the best episodes of the show thus far. Because it's zigzagging all over the fucking place. And you're reeling from the fucking Congresswoman Welch bullshit. It's crazy. Now, episode 8. The last one.
See, I really liked episode 8 because
episode 8's so good, dude.
It's the whole Coop bit with him in the past and House calling him and like everything is just. I really liked this episode.
It's very, very good.
Very poetic.
Oh, lots of things get solved and several things get unsolved, and it's just super good. Okay, 2077, pre-war. Hank and Steph get engaged in Vegas. At the same time, Cooper is arrested and is tipped off just beforehand by House that House is not the one behind him being arrested. Handing over the Cold Fusion relic is what's caused this about to happen. And
he tells Barb to pretend like she had no fucking clue. Yeah.
Cooper, I think, doesn't House advise him to do that?
No, House is like, I told you not to do it.
Yeah.
And here they come.
And good luck. So Coop tells Barb in the 30 seconds before he gets snatched up to pretend like she had no idea and sell him out and make him the bad guy and do everything you possibly can to protect yourself and Janie. Let me take the fall for this whole debacle.
Which made me feel really validated because I called that a while ago. I was like, yes. I don't think they divorced for real.
Yes. So she does. 2296. The Legion has been having their little firefight, right? And it ends when
Macaulay
Culkin proclaims himself Kaiser after finding, in the middle of the firefight, crawling his way up to the corpse, taking the piece of paper, reading the name on it, destroying it, declaring himself Kaiser. Everyone is just like, okay, cool.
There was no name on it.
Oh, that's right. There was no name.
No, he said, I will always be be Caesar or something. And fuck y'all.
Pretty much. That's right. I forgot it was a fuck you. That's so funny. So Macaulay Culkin is running the Legion now. And he says, listen up, fuckheads. We're going to go take New Vegas to be ours. Like the Kaiser of old would have wanted. And everyone's like, Ave. Hooray. Great. So, back with the Vault Tech executive suite and Norm and his new friend Claudia, who is like, when the bombs dropped, she was like an intern for 3 weeks.
Yeah, she got hired for 2 weeks and then was in a vault.
Yeah, so she's part of Bud's Buds, but is
barely,
very barely.
And they all treat her as such too. They're like,
she's not in the secret club. It's fine.
She doesn't know the handshake yet. She didn't get that far in training.
Nope. So a Radroach infestation erupts.
It's a farm.
And they all get slaughtered except Norm and Claudia.
Somehow.
Claudia is wounded pretty severely, but she does survive. Back in Vault 32.
Which doesn't that lead Norm to try to take her back to... They're heading back to the vault, aren't they?
I think so.
Yeah, because he needs to get her help.
Yeah, but we don't... That's where their story ends.
Yeah.
Is they leave that building. In Vault 32, Steph opens the case from Hank. It's the golden Pip-Boy, right?
I think it's black.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's
like a special
full black Pip-Boy. She activates it, identifies herself as Hank's wife, and contacts the Enclave to begin phase 2. We still don't know what the fuck that is, other than it's supposed to have something to do with FEV.
I think she knows though, because she does it vindictive as shit.
Yes. The whole time, the gaggle of people outside the office is like banging on her doors and chanting that she must be killed, which is wild. And it unnerves Chet a lot. Um, so the fight between Maximus and the Death Claws is spilling out into Freeside. It's no longer contained. And the armor is like ripped asunder, rendered useless. And all of a sudden, the NCR rolls in force.
Turns out they do have friends, guys.
They were just late, apparently. So the NCR rolls up and saves the day, kills the fucking Death Claws. And the ghoul works his way into the super secret vault with House's help. House monologuing at him the whole time that he just needs to listen to House and do what House says because House is mathematically never wrong, blah, 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 blah. But Coop has like a code and a sense of morality and honor and ethics to an extent. So Lucy kills Welch and then is captured by Hank and his
No.
slaves.
Just Hank. Just Hank goes and gets her.
Well, yeah, Hank goes and gets her, but he's rocking with the fucking guys that she tricked into becoming pacified anyways. And he's gonna have her killed by them.
Well, he's gonna have her chipped.
Effectively killed. He's gonna have her chipped.
Effectively killed, like getting a lobotomy is effectively killed.
Yeah, you stir up somebody's brainstem and they're not themselves. What an ethical dilemma that is. The ghoul shows up and shows character growth by not murdering everyone in the room. He merely wounds Hank.
We also find out that Hank, did you say this already? That he admits he's part of the Enclave?
No.
Okay. We also find out that Hank is part of the Enclave.
Yeah. That comes after Lucy sticks a chip in him, though.
He sticks the chip in himself.
No, he activates it himself with a secret remote that he had in his pocket.
Oh, no, she threatens to...
She threatens to do it, and he goes, I'm the bad guy. Click. And becomes like a sad old grandpa.
Right, yep.
Which is like, it's such a dissatisfying end to Hank, while at the same time being
good storytelling.
Incredible storytelling. God, it's so annoying.
Because now Lucy's got the dad she always wanted.
Yeah,
nice.
But at what cost? Ah, vicious. It's vicious. The ghoul finally makes it to his family's cryopods, and they were not in Vault 31, as was thought. They are in Vegas. And he finds,
they were.
Well, yes, they were in Vegas. They are not there. The cryopods are empty. And a clue is left for him, supposedly, in the form of a postcard pointing to Colorado.
Whoop, whoop.
Hooray. So the ghoul fucks off to Colorado.
And it's the first proof that he's had that they lived. Up until this point, he didn't even know if they were alive.
Yes. So he finds their pods with their names on them, pops them, they're empty, postcard to Colorado, he goes. Maximus finally works his way to where Lucy is, after talking all season about how he doesn't want to run into her because he wants to commit to the Brotherhood, fucks up the Brotherhood super bad, and then finds her and he's like, oh my god, a second chance! Hooray! And it's in her time of extraordinary devastation as her dad lobotomized himself in front of her, which is crazy. Then the Legion marches on Vegas, which has only 10 minutes ago become occupied by the NCR. And that's how the episode ends until the post-credits scene.
Just a lore drop for Fallout fans. It means nothing if you know nothing about Fallout.
I mean, it's great storytelling to be like, hey, look at what we're gonna do next season, eh?
In
We're
the
gonna
meantime, go play this video game.
we're gonna make a big deal about the Brotherhood next season because Dane of the Brotherhood retrieves the blueprints for Liberty Prime, a big fuck off robot, Quintus, and that's how season 2 ends. Okay, that haphazard plot overview aside, boy howdy is this good fucking TV, dude.
It's so good.
Every episode hooks you. The soundtrack is fucking incredible. The acting performances are stellar, out of this world. The direction is great. The CG is great. The choreography for the fight scenes and everything is great.
They pay a lot of attention to the games and the lore of the games, which is hard when there's games that have multiple endings. And they really make sure that every episode honors the fans that have been around for Fallout the entire time.
In terms of adaptations, I don't know that you can ask for more. It's just so good. It's so well put together.
For a video game adaptation, yeah, absolutely. I think this is the best that there is. Especially, like I said, they're working almost with a harder set of things because each Fallout game has multiple endings and the world is so expansive in lore already that it's really hard to find a way to add to that and tell a different story that hasn't already been told, but also honor the original stories that have been told. They're really working with a tough bag of stuff here.
Sure is a good thing that one of the executive producers happened to make all the Fallout games.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, no, they do a really good job of juggling everything. The costuming department,
oh my god,
is amazing.
The costumes,
the set
dude.
department, whoever's in charge of continuity, like everything's really, really, really well done.
If you don't have Amazon Prime, I don't blame you. Corporations be damned. If you do have Amazon Prime, it is worth your time and energy to watch this show because it's just such good storytelling and tales of hope and betrayal and love and crazy shit and conspiracy. It hits everything.
And despite it feeling a little too close to home, given the current everything, it does give you that escapism itch that you are looking for.
I cannot recommend this show enough. I do believe we're getting at least 2 new seasons. We're getting a season 3 for sure.
Season 3 is already on, like...
They're in production.
Yeah, it's on IMDb already, that's why I know.
I'm pretty sure we're getting a 4th season. We may even get a 5th.
I mean, we rated this as one of our A-tier shows. A-tier media.
It's just so damn good. And it deserves all the flowers it could possibly get. I don't know what it's going to get in terms of awards over time, but it deserves many of them. And my God, it's just the grand awakening of Ella Purnell.
Mm-hmm.
The fucking what's his name? Who plays a ghoul? What's his fucking name? Walton Goggins.
Walton Goggins.
Dude, Walton Goggins has been around for a long time, and he's been a good actor for a long time. He's working his ass off in this show, man. He's got to play the ghoul. He's got to play Cooper Howard. He's got to blend the two to a certain extent. And there's so many layers to Cooper Howard, and there's even more layers and nuance to the ghoul. And it's a character study on, like, what would you do for your family given the most extreme set of circumstances. It's just such good storytelling. I can't recommend it enough. I can't repeat it enough. You gotta watch Fallout on Amazon.
Seconded. Just to keep you all up to date on the voting, because we haven't had a vote in a little bit, just because we had some backlog. We had the tier list episode, the 200th episode, and then we had some TV shows that we needed to catch up on. So we haven't had a vote. And then our live audience decided to be fuckers and end it in a tie. So we will be watching Chicago and Cars 3 in no particular order sometime soon. Always tune into the live shows, follow us on social media, like, subscribe, leave a comment, rate it, follow, many things. Okay, bye-bye. Alright, for all of you that are over in YouTube land, still mad at you. Still mad.
For the tie.
I'm mad at the tie, and I'm mad they didn't vote for Wicked. I told them there was a correct answer to the vote. I didn't tell them what that was, but I said there was a correct answer. It wasn't Chicago, and it wasn't Cars 3.
They're sparing me. I'm being spared.
By watching a much better musical or movie musical adaptation? Yes. But the content, guys. The content from watching Wicked for Good. That's what I'm looking for. I need James to experience the worst part of Wicked.
I'm going to. It's going to happen.
I know, but I'm impatient. I don't even care about it for the show. I want to watch you watch the second half of Wicked, the musical.
I'm sure there will be shit to complain about in Chicago, and I'm sure there will be shit to complain about in Cars
Chicago's
3.
a masterpiece. And the only thing we're going to complain about in Cars 3 is, like I said, we just have way too much knowledge about the Cars universe now. And honestly, it cannot be worse than Cars 2. And I have so many things to say about Cars 2 that my child yells at me for talking too much during the movie. That's a thing that happens. That is a real life thing that I live with. Because I will upset my child if I talk too much during his movies. So. Alright, guys. Thanks for being patient. This one took a little bit longer to get to you than I would have liked, but I had a few really, really, really bad pain days, and
it's been a debacle of like 2 weeks.
Yeah, we had company, and it was Easter, and then there was pain, and then, yeah. It's been a time. I would like to say that it's going to get better, but
it's only going to get more complicated.
I'm going on a trip next weekend, and the weekend after that we have more company in town, so mid-May sounds great to get you at least one of these episodes. If it's before then, count your lucky stars.